Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen, we're making decadent, delicious hot chocolate cookies. So let's get started. First off, set your oven to 375, line 2 baking sheets with parchment paper, and in a large bowl, I'm adding 1.5 cups or 180 grams of all-purpose flour. To my flour, I'm adding half a cup of hot cocoa mix. I love making my own, especially in the colder months, but if you're using store-bought, just pop it into a measuring cup carefully. They all have different weights based on like how much sugar they have, how much powdered milk, etc., etc. Pop that in. And if you want the recipe for homemade hot cocoa mix, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to do some variations for you. I want 1/4 teaspoon of salt. There is some salt in most hot cocoa mixes, so we're just adding a little bit more for the cookies. Grab half a teaspoon of baking soda and 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Always check your expiration dates. This stuff goes bad faster than you would imagine. And it just won't work. It loses potency if it's expired. So, grab a whisk and whisk, whisk, whisk it up. This is all of our dry ingredients. I'm gonna show you 2 different variations of this cookie that I really love. Cocoa powder cloud. Our scale's done. Set that aside. Now, in a separate bowl, I'm adding half a cup or 113 grams of room temperature unsalted butter. You can use salted butter, but just don't add that 1/4 teaspoon before. And room temperature butter will bend like this. You can indent it with a little bit of pressure and get a fingerprint out of there. Plop that right in. I'm not wasting any butter today. I also want half a cup or 100 grams of granulated sugar. The sugar is making things sweet, but it's also giving us a soft, melt-in-your-mouth cookie texture. And who could say no to some brown sugar as well? The brown sugar will give the cookies more moisture, but it's also gonna give you a depth of flavor that you love, as well as a little bit more spread, like a softer cookie. 110 grams, half a cup. I'm just searching with my hands for any like giant lumps or rocks that are in the brown sugar. I'm using a hand mixer, but you could also use a stand mixer with a paddle attachment. Set to medium, and we're gonna mix this up until it's light and fluffy. If you're using a stand mixer, do not forget to whisk the bowl down. Scrape the bowl down. Right now I have like a lot of boulders of butter hanging out, so it just needs more time. Full disclosure for you, that cocoa, it just looks a little bit light. I'm adding in a tablespoon of Dutch processed cocoa powder. That was my homemade mixture of cocoa powder. A lot of the ones you buy at the store have like really dark cocoa, so I just want it to look nice. It's all about, it's like purely aesthetics. Although it will be just a little bit more chocolatey. You don't have to tell people you do that. Ah, it's happening. It's coming together in a nice cohesive fluffy mass. Like, why didn't I use a stand mixer again? 1 egg. You could crack it into a separate bowl or just keep a close eye for shells. No shells. Just checking. I also want 2 teaspoons of vanilla. If you wanted to, you could have used, bourbon instead, but I always say you could use bourbon. Anyways, we're gonna mix this up until it's a smooth, creamy mixture. And you can see it comes together really fast. The nice thing about using a hand mixer is the beaters can like touch the bowl and scrape down as you go. You don't really have to scrape the bowl down with the spatula. Now we're gonna add the flour mixture into our brown sugar butter concoction with the cocoa powder. Mix on low until almost combined. You still want to see some dry streaks hanging out because we're going to add more things and do more mixing. So don't go crazy. You don't want a tough cookie. It should be fluffy, melt in your mouth, chocolate amazingness. These out of the oven are so good. That marshmallow we're going to add on top, melty with the chocolate. Woo! All mixed up, it's time to add in 2/3 of a cup of chocolate chips. These could be any chocolate chips you want, bittersweet, semi-sweet, even white chocolate chips if you want to go there. And you could also, I don't want to do that. This got mixed enough. Here, you can like scrape the bowl down, look for any little bits of cocoa powder that are hanging here and there, and you know you're not going to overmix things. You're just distributing the chocolate chips and getting this cookie dough right to scoop out. These cookies have no chill time. It's really wonderful. And one of the magical things about cocoa powder is it really helps things set. So when you have cocoa powder in a cookie, there's gonna be less spread and less chill time. Unless you're making chocolate crinkle cookies. That's a different sort of thing. And yes, that recipe's on the channel. Okay, this looks good. See, look at this mixture. It's nice. I could pick it up and it's not really gonna stick to my hands, so it'll be really great to roll. It's time to portion out 1.5 tablespoon sized balls of cookie dough. Scoop those balls of dough out, and then we're just gonna place them about 2 inches apart. These cookies will spread a bit. It's actually easiest if you're using a triggered scoop, just kind of press the dough together, release, and you have like a nice shape. This makes about 24 cookies, so about 12 per pan. But if you want, you could freeze the dough on the baking sheet right now, and then once completely frozen, pop it into a freezer bag, and then you can bake the cookies off from there. Ooh, nice to have instant cookies on demand. I call those my emergency cookies. These guys are ready to go into the oven, 375 for 9 minutes, and then you pull them out. We're gonna bake one sheet at a time because we have a little bit of work to do. And while they're baking, we're gonna deal with our marshmallows. I do love the smell of a marshmallow. It smells like being a kid. Anyways, grab big marshmallows and we're just gonna cut them in half. This will get plopped onto our cookies, and you want half as many marshmallows as you have cookies. You can also cut them with a pair of scissors, but oh my gosh, it gets so messy because the scissors get all glommed up. If you don't have marshmallows, you can use mini marshmallows. And if you don't have mini marshmallows, then the cookies are delicious in and of themselves, but the marshmallows really make some magic happen. Because in the oven, they puff up and expand and cover some of the cookie on top, and they're just gooey, amazing deliciousness. You can see I'm placing them cut side up, otherwise they will stick to your counter. And these need to be at the ready as soon as that first batch of cookies come out of the oven. That should be good. Always grab some extra marshmallows for snacking in case somebody walks by. As an optional little extra step, you could grab some more chocolate, and I'm gonna take these chocolate squares and cut them into quarters. But that's optional. We'll see how that turns out with the cookies. I used to do this many years ago back in Los Angeles, and I thought, you know what? It's not in the recipe, but let's see how this turns out. My 9-minute timer went off. Let's grab the cookies and get to plopping. Alrighty, look at these guys. Grab your marshmallows and place them right on the top, pressing ever so gently, just a little bit. And, oh my gosh, the smell is so good. This is gonna be really nice. But you can also grab a little square of chocolate and press that into the center, and then put the marshmallow on top of that. These go back into the oven, continue baking for 2 to 3 minutes. The marshmallows will be puffed and melty. Let your cookies cool for about 2 minutes or so. Then once you can pick them up, they are ready to enjoy. Oh my gosh. That's a slap across the face of deliciousness. It's just so gooey and melty and amazing with all that chocolate marshmallow flavor. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe, and if you like this video, check out my cookie playlist.